Well, welcome to Thought for the Day. I have to admit, and I hope this doesn't get me a whole pile of abuse on social media, that I really enjoyed the football on Sunday night. Now, it's not because I'm a secret Italy supporter. I really wanted England to win. British, as far as I know, pretty much through and through, and I was caught up in that same desire for England to win. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it at one level just because it was good theatre. The suspense went on and on. There was the hope at the beginning, that early goal, the sense that that England seemed to be in control of the midfield, and the kind of half time, getting to half time, wondering what's going to happen. Then the way at the second half things that all flipped round the other way, and that the inevitable Italy goal after all the pressure they were putting on. And then it was 1-1, and what's going to happen? Was there going to be one final goal just before the end, or were we going to extra time? And the suspense went on. We went into extra time, and through extra time, there was the what's going to happen? The balance shifted again, didn't it? It shifted again. England looked a bit more as if they were going to have a chance. And was Southgate going to make those substitutions that would make a difference? When was going to happen? Then the last couple of minutes, as he brought on those two players to experts in penalties, and was that going to let in a goal in the final minutes? And then they survived and they got through to penalties, and then it's going to happen. And then England got ahead, then it was drawn back. Then they got behind, and was that going to be the final thing? And then Pickford saved the final penalty. There was a chance of survival, and then that final missed penalty, the disappointment. So it's great theatre, wasn't it? A story that ebbed and flowed, went to this way and that. And I'm not a great expert on football, but the football to me seemed quite interesting. The way that ebbed and flowed, the times that England seemed to be so much in control, winning every ball in the first part of the first half, and then in the second half, the way Italy seemed to be able to just ping the ball back from one person to the other, and almost play a game, almost a different game, and then the way it shifted back in that way. There seemed to be interest in the football too, although, as I say, I'm not a great expert. So I enjoyed it, even though of course I was disappointed at the end. But what I didn't enjoy so much, along with everyone, was what happened afterwards. The torrent of abuse, picking on those three poor footballers who'd missed the penalties, or whose penalties hadn't gone in. One had missed, the other two were saved, I think, if I remember right. And the way that then turned racist. I mean, I don't spend time in the social media sites of celebrities, but those who do tell me that they're made to feel quite ill by what they saw. Ill, ashamed, desperately sickened. And I can't imagine how much worse it felt for the individuals who were being abused. Why was it they picked on their race? I mean, you could have picked on people whose surnames began towards the end of the alphabet. I mean, you have Kane and Maguire. They scored. And those three with names beginning with R's and S's, well, that's the problem. We've got to get rid of all the R's and S's. And what's more, who chose who would pick the penalties? It was another S, Southgate. That's the problem in this country, is the people whose names begin with R and S. I'm only kidding, of course. But it wasn't even just the racist abuse that was troubling. There was news before, and very consistent picture, that after any big football match there's a big rise in domestic violence. People who are angry in some way take it out on vulnerable people in their own homes. Even here, I noticed, I don't know what it was, but I noticed kind of 15-20 minutes after the game ended, the sound of sirens. I don't know if they're ambulances or police, but fear again that there'd been a violent response, an unhealthy response to losing a game. And why is it? Maybe you think, why is it that of a game of football, in my opinion, a probably fairly good game of football, resulted in that sort of response. And I think ultimately it's because we put our hope in 11 young men with quite a lot of skill and probably a fair amount of ego, their ability to kick a ball around the field and to get it into a goal. Why is it? The problem isn't really the response. The problem is that we hang our hopes in the wrong places. We hang some of our expectation of being happy on the possibility of our team. And what is it? There's not much our about it at all. On the possibility of one team winning a football game. Why is it we do that? And I think it's deep in the human psyche, this tendency to want something else to meet our needs, to fight our battles for us. In a sense, the whole setup of the football game sent the England team out as sort of gladiators on our behalf. The national anthem beforehand. They're going to win the battle for us. But of course, they can't win the real battle. They can win a football game or they can lose one. And whether it's won or lost, we're the same people. We have the same situation, the same problems are still there, whether England win or whether they lose. And we do need someone to sort those situations out. We do need to sort out those problems, those disappointments. But 11 young men kicking a football around the field in northwest London are not going to do it. And I think I was able to enjoy the match, not be heartbroken, agonised at the end as the newspapers all put it the following day. Because I've put my trust in a different young man who fought the real battles on my behalf, and who, in the end, will win, even though there will be ups and downs along the way. His name is Jesus. God bless, and I'll speak to you again soon.